Now, if your students are anything like mine, when we paint two different colors in the skies, we often end up with these two separate colors. So we talk a lot about blending the two colors, and what I tell them is to just get your paintbrush a little bit wet and then have it sweep back and forth over the two colors you just painted, and that will help to blend them together. And I also tell them when you're painting something like a sky, you need to think of the texture that you see in the sky. It's usually very smooth, unless we're talking clouds. And so I tell them that when you paint, you need to think of the name of my favorite band, which is, I tell them, One Direction. So make sure your paintbrush is going in one direction. And they honestly believe that I am in love with Harry Styles. And then we chat about painting the land. I'll get back to painting the clouds and sun and moon and stars once that's dry. But then we start mixing tons and tons of colors for the land. So this is a fourth grader who did that today. You can see she's still got a wet painting she just finished. So a lot of them really wanted to use a variety of colors for the land, which I was all for. It's totally up to you. But some of them really just loved experimenting, seeing all the different kinds of greens that they could create. So I love that this artist was able to get such a variety. My paint of choice is Saks Versatemp. That's what these guys are using. So once the sky is done and the pieces of the land are finished, then we talked about putting patterns in the land. So to create that idea of patterns, I told them that they could now use paint straight from the tray. Those colors are a lot more bold now and they're going to pop a lot better. And once all the patterns were in place, the final step was to pick a color, a contrasting color of something you haven't used, and then use a very thin line brush. Remember, your paintbrush is like a ballerina. She's always on her tippy toes. She never scoots around on her bottom. It's unappealing. Nobody wants to go to a ballet like that. It might be kind of funny though. So that's essentially it. Some of the artists decided, you know what, I think my painting looks great without the dividing lines, and so they opted not to do that. Some of them decided, you know what, it really was a bold standout to do that. So I let that be up to them. They totally enjoyed mixing on the styrofoam plates. They were great to use because I could just wash them and have them reuse them. If they ran out of space on the plate, I told them just use the back of the plate because that was no big deal to use that. So there you have it. That's how we did these beautiful fourth grade landscapes. Thanks, guys.